Hi, this is Sister Kathy from Benedictine Sisters of Virginia. You know, I believe many of us desire to be holy, but are sure that that's simply a call for other people, greater people, better people, stronger people, perhaps even boring people. Well, I remember as a kid desiring to be holy. I was taught that that means you never sin, you never mess up. In other words, impossible. I thought it meant you had to be perfect. Perfect. Well, that reminds me of my younger son when he was very little. So Mike came to me and said, Mom, I want to be perfect. And as a mom, I was immediately concerned he was trying too hard. Though I admit I admired him very much. And by the way, I still do. I said, oh, Mike, it's okay not to be perfect. We all make mistakes and do wrong things. But he was adamant. He said, no, I'm going to be perfect. So I tried another way. I said, well, Mike, we don't really get to be perfect because only God is perfect. And he said, well, then I'll be God. I thought, I tried not to smile too much when he said that. But my response was, well, I'm really sorry, Michael, but that job has already been taken. But I never forgot it. And I think I've always had a little special place in my heart for Mike when he was like that. Although, my very adorable son, well, so many times we also try to be like that. We try to be perfect. Or maybe I should say we try to be something more. The world is in so much trouble because so many adults today try to be God. It's one thing when you're a little boy of 5, but I guess it's easier than listening to God. We don't have to be accountable for actions if we don't listen to God and we decide what it is to be God. We determine what's good. We make the rules to suit our own personality, and then we can excuse all the wrongs we do. Or at least we don't have to go to someone and say, I'm sorry. Well, maybe this way we don't have to give too much. We can be comfortable and not be too much. God talk makes others uncomfortable. So this way we can fit in better into the world, not make any waves. This morning for my Lectio, I came across 2 things to ponder today. And of course, less than perfectly. Well, they're not new really, but I always need to redo things as perfection is not even close to my personality. First, God's will, not mine, be done. This is hard, actually, because especially for someone like me, because when I feel right, I want to say that out loud. And internally, I struggle wanting to justify my behaviors, especially when I feel I've been misunderstood. Yet when I bring it to prayer, this is what I hear God speak. Let go. Just let it go. I know who you are. That's enough, because I am enough. Sometimes that's hard because I want you to know me better. Then, because of that, I have to say yes, and I have to surrender my will over and over again. So this is what I do. I say, Jesus, I surrender myself to you. Take care of everything 10 times. And then a little later, when things come back, I have to say it 10 times more. And maybe even later, 10 times more. I think you get the drift. Then I read the gospel for this morning where Jesus is asking Peter if he loves him 3 times. 3 times. It always reminds me of the 3 times Peter betrayed Jesus. Maybe that's why I have to say it 10 times plus, 10 times plus. Yet after that, Jesus lets Peter know, okay, I hear you. You say you love me, but you'll have to suffer. You will have to go places where you don't want to go. Well, what a hard thing for Peter to hear. And after that, when he says, you love me, and this is what's going to happen, and now I'm asking you to follow me. Well, that's not asking you to follow me because I'm going to show you an easy way, is it? So I'm thinking, wow, the choice after being told it will be a suffering, a death so terrible. And Jesus asks Peter to follow him. He asks us all to follow him. If we follow God and live his will, not ours, life can be a suffering. And maybe that's what is required. Yuck. I think for most of us, if you're like me, the sufferings are more daily experiences rather than dying on a cross, even upside down. You don't always get what you want, right? That's a suffering. Your friends talk about you unkindly behind your back. Other people's brokenness clashes with yours. You try your best and fail. You say the wrong thing and sin. You are weak when you want to be strong. Sinful when you want to be a saint. It's amazing what a day is like if you're really paying attention, because sometimes all these things can happen. Sometimes we forget to pay attention to God and allow distractions to take over. I think this is the biggest impediment to God's grace. Other things, other people become more important than God or God's will. So the message for me today is surrender to God's will. Follow the Christ you say you love. And don't count the cost. Let that be God's worry. This is when you are at peace and find joy, even in sadness. So, listen to that small voice that is telling you what and how to be. That's the Holy Spirit trying to keep you on the right path. Don't become so busy and distracted that you miss it. There are consequences to that. Trust me, I know. Have a joy-filled day. God bless.